Thanks. Yeah, first I was pleased to hear that also the Commission now applies the concept of forward guidance. I share most, not to say all, what Jeroen and Olli said, so I will focus from our perspective on the banking union, because this, in our view, is the biggest integration step in Europe since the introduction of the common currency. And as you know, we at the ECB, we very much really welcome the adoption of the SSM regulation by the European Parliament yesterday. And we now look forward to the final adoption of the regulation by the Council, because then we can proceed with the establishment of the Supervisory Board, including the Chair and the Vice Chair, because we need the Supervisory Board to take a number of essential decisions to move forward. You are aware we have concluded between us, the ECB, and the European Parliament an interinstitutional agreement on the accountability of the SSM. This is key that we ensure a high degree of accountability, because banking supervision in this respect is different from monetary policy. And we have now reached an agreement that assures this high degree of accountability while at the same time safeguards the protection of confidential information. And the preparations for the single supervisory mechanism is well proceeding. We have made sustained progress over the summer, and we will be ready to start the operation of the SSM in the fall next year. This is an ambitious timetable, but it's a doable one. And we have advanced the preparation in 4 areas. The first one is that we are developing a supervisory manual which describes the procedures for cooperation within the SSM and with the authorities outside the SSM. Second, we are preparing the supervisory reporting, which will harmonize how data are collected within the SSM, and we have created a template here which is now tested in a pilot case with pilot data. Third, we are preparing the implementation of the SSM framework regulation, which will include the methodology for the identification of significant banks. This framework regulation will be put forward to public consultation in the fall of this year. And the fourth area of preparation, which catches the most attention for the time being, is the balance sheet assessment that will take place of all those banks that will be directly supervised by the ECB. As you know, it will have a number of elements. It's mainly a balance sheet assessment followed by a stress test. And in our view, the importance of this exercise can be hardly overestimated, because it provides an extraordinary and overdue opportunity to create transparency of bank balance sheets in Europe, and if necessary, to repair this bank balance sheets. For a number of reasons, 2 stress tests in Europe failed to create this transparency and to repair the bank balance sheets. And this is now our third and maybe our last chance to do this. And this is, in our view, of key importance, because without such a repair, a revival of credit provision by the European banking sector, which is essential for regaining growth, will simply not happen. And these are the reasons why, in our view, the asset quality review and the stress tests have to be rigorous, robust, because the aim at the end is to have a banking sector that is able to lend to the real economies at levels that we would like to see it. It might be the case that this exercise requires recapitalization. And it has to be clear before the exercise starts how one can deal with these possible recapitalization needs. The first line of defense, of course, are private markets. But there might be cases where that is not sufficient. And it has to be clear that additional backstops then are provided. This, in first line, will be national budgets. And if circumstances require, these national backstops may be supported by an ESM financial sector program to an individual member state, as we have seen in the past in the case of Spain, which was very successful. And I noted gladly that the chair of the Eurogroup has said that he will come back to the topic of backstops at the November meeting of the Eurogroup. To conclude, the second aspect of the banking union where there is no time to lose is the single resolution mechanism. We at the ECB welcome the Commission's proposal for a single resolution mechanism because the crisis has shown that coordination among member states has been inadequate to organize the resolution of cross-border banks. And this means we want a single system, a single authority, and a single fund. And we strongly support the timeline that is envisaged by the Commission, means the 1st of January 2015. And it's our understanding, my understanding, that the opinion of the Council Legal Services formally confirms that Article 114 is sufficient as a legal base, including for establishing a single resolution fund. And this is also the view of our legal service at the ECB, that Article 114 is indeed a solid and robust legal base. That means we see now a consensus among the legal experts of the Council, the Commission, and the ECB, and this should enable us to move forward. Thanks.